Thank you, Madam Chair. Chris, can you tell me, did your board see this legislation before or after TAB took a position?
Mr. Chairman, it was, our board adopted our legislative agenda back in September. So this was...
Did your board see this legislation before or after it took a position? Because
This... There was no legislation prior to...
Here, I'll help you with timing. You took a position at some point. The legislation was filed at some point. Did you take a position before or after this legislation was filed?
The position that our board took is to oppose any legislation that is seen as discriminatory and would impact negatively our workforce recruitment and or cause economic harm to our state.
So you took a position before reading anything?
September, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Do you often take positions on legislation before reading them?
Yes, actually, every September prior to every legislative session,
Well, that's good to
our legislative agenda is adopted. And it is a set of principles guided by our membership, and our membership gives input. And so, there may not be pieces of legislation filed yet. It is a set of guiding principles, that our board adopts. Yes, sir.
So the legislation itself really doesn't matter?
Well, it does matter. Yes, sir, it does matter. And, the board adopts our legislative agenda. You've all seen this every September prior to the session. And again, it's a set of guiding principles, and it's our staff's marching orders and what we will oppose and what we will stand by during the upcoming session.
I know as a committee member, it wouldn't make a difference to me whether somebody takes a position before they've ever read anything. And so I think that's good information to have. Can you tell me what the GDP of Texas is?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, come on. You're TAB.
Well, look.
Give it a wild guess, Chris.
I don't know what the GDP is, sir. I don't know the exact number.
But you just claimed that you are the speaking body for the Chamber of Commerce
We are the
of
state Chamber of
Texas.
Commerce, absolutely.
You want me to Google it for you and help you with the GDP?
Please.
You have any idea?
It's,
Come on, give me a ballpark. You're a business guy. You represent all the businesses across the state.
I don't want to give you an exact or
Give me a ballpark.
inaccurate
You
figure.
don't even have to be close. I'll let you
I
be
don't give you
within
an accurate
20%. I'll let you be within 80%. Come on, Chris.
I don't want to give you an exact figure, sir. I might be wrong.
I'm not asking for exact. You're claiming that you speak on behalf of the businesses of the state of Texas. Surely you know ballpark what the GDP is.
My colleague just handed me this, 1.414 trillion USD.
And your numbers that were already proven false were what?
Excuse me, say it again?
Your numbers that were already proven as being inaccurate were what numbers did you say would cause significant impact to the state?
I didn't give a number. Our
TAB gave a number.
Economic impact study?
Right.
So the economic impact study was a range. It was a
Right,
range of a low to a high, and the
Right,
high
give me
is
your high.
8.5 billion.
8.5. Can you
Yes, sir.
divide, what was that number? 8.5 divided by what?
1.414 trillion
Can you divide that? Can you divide that for me?
in terms of the 8.5 billion.
Yeah.
What is that? That's 30%. What is that?
Help, maybe, you need a different calculator.
I'm using a calculator.
Okay, 8.5 billion
Correct.
divided by what'd you say, 7 trillion?
1.14 trillion.
All right, can you?
Right number's
you wanna-
1.7.
What?
Right number's 1.7, but go ahead.
Excuse me, Mr. Hancock, what was
The
it?
right number's 1.7, but go ahead. Let's answer this question, please.
Can you divide it and tell me what number that gets you?
My phone's off. We can do the math, sure.
I mean, you got an engineer next to you, I bet you can do the math. It's not that difficult.
Was it? Bear with us. What was it, 1.1?
And bear in mind, this was a number that's already been proven false, so.
No, that's not right. It's good.
but I'm giving you a false. You want me to help you?
It's about 24%.
Try .005.
Not 24%.
Oh, 20, okay. Excuse me. Yes.
That's what you're doing.
What's the number?
On the 1.44, it's .006. On the 1.7, it's 0.005.
Dude, if I'm representing businesses, I would hope my math skills were a little better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
What's the number?
We'd say 1/2 of 1%.
1/2 of 1%. Can you tell me what our rate of growth is?
What is that, about 15%?
Okay.
Any,
I think it's either.
regardless, it amounts to.
If we're gonna claim it's gonna have significant impact, I think it's good to have the specific number. So the number that you're saying we lose is what? 1/2 of 1%?
It's 1/2 of 1%.
And our growth rate is what?
What, 15%?
So, I think, if you're gonna use numbers like significant impact, I think it's good to put it in perspective, and so comparing it to our GDP is a fair way of evaluating that.
Is it worth the risk?
Don't you agree?
Yes, sir, I do, but we also agree, is it worth the risk? Any number of economic impact, whether it's a low range of what the study found or a high range of 8.5 billion, we simply do not think it's worth the risk.
Well, I think the risk of an 8-year-old child in a ladies' locker room, ladies' restroom is not worth the risk of 1/2 of 1%, is that what we said?
And we respect your opinion, absolutely.
What do you think her risk are worth, that 8-year-old child?
I totally agree with you. We don't think that's the issue. What we think is, the reason why we're at the table, Chairman, is about business. And we're about making sure that, frankly, we keep Texas open for business.
So that's why we wanted to get the numbers accurate on the significant impact of being
And, we...
1/2 of 1%.
And, we understand that there is legitimate debate about what the numbers are of a potential economic damage that will result if SB 6 passes. But we also understand that there's a wide range consensus among researchers, including those cited by the PolitiFact Post itself. And I encourage the committee to read the PolitiFact Post itself. That discriminatory legislation will absolutely harm the Texas economy. Let me just read you just briefly.
Hold on a minute, because you want to reference but how was that already rated by PolitiFact, the thing you're
It was rated
referencing?
mostly false.
And that's what we're referencing right now?
Correct. Because what they have a beef with, which I totally understand, is it as high as 8.5 billion?
It's hard to get registered mostly false on those, and now you're referencing in your argument something that PolitiFact has already said is mostly false. I would find another point of reference.
Well, let me just point out, if I can briefly, that if you read the PolitiFact Post, as reported February 3rd, 2017, a Wharton professor, Dr. Maury Schweitzer, said that he'd expect that such law to be detrimental to the Texas economy. Dr. Schweitzer said that precise, quote, figures are difficult to forecast because the effects can snowball. Once one company or sport event boycotts a state, others are more likely to follow. Though I cannot forecast the exact amount, I am positive that a measure limiting transgender bathroom choices will harm the Texas economy. That's one economist. There were several that were used by PolitiFact, as you all know, all over the country to rank this actual study that the students did. There's another one. Economists like James Newsick from the University of Memphis mostly saw no problems with the St. Edward's research approach. Quote, state-to-state impact comparisons are widely used for studies of this kind, but are difficult given the wide range of policy variations of economic conditions in each state.
Yeah, and Chris, I get it, and I gave you your false numbers, and even considered those to be accurate numbers, which we knew were false, and said what impact would it have, and we compared it to our GDP. So, we know, I'm giving you your false numbers, right, that were falsely high, And even your falsely high numbers were what percentage again? I can't remember.
0.5%.
All right.
Again, we don't think it's worth the risk, no matter what the numbers are.
And so why you can't measure it, I mean, one thing we can measure is the impact of Target's economy after they took a position. Would you say that those numbers were favorable or difficult?
I mean, that would be up to the board at Target.
No, I mean, not, their stock price isn't up to the board.
Well, no, I mean.
Their revenue generation.
Consumers.
Right.
They're consumers, and if consumers do not like the position of Target, then they can shop elsewhere.
Can you tell me
There were-
how much their stock's down since that point in time?
I don't recall.
It's about
I'm not an
30%,
investor. I'm not.
so,
We have, 68 letters, 68 businesses, many of our largest employers, as you know, that sign the Keep Texas Open for Business.
how many members y'all have?
We have 4,300, sir, and 200 local chambers of commerce. 1,250 signed the Texas Competes Pledge, encouraging our state to be open to, welcoming to all workers and all customers within our state.
So a
So we think that's a significant number.
minority of your members signed on to that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Thank
yes, sir.
you, Mr. Chairman.